Welcome everybody to another quote breakdown. This is Anthony Manai speaking. I want to welcome everybody to the show. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Today we're going to break down a Facebook post, a pretty long one, posted about a couple of days ago. Facebook's algorithm now is like pretty bad. So not as many people saw it, but the people that did see it showed a lot of love. And I wanted to kind of read this to you so I could break it down and then tell you the importance of it. So let's just start. Um, if you are forcing yourself to work, you're not doing what it is that you truly want to do. This is a fact. I've been there before. Trying to chase money never works because money is a byproduct. It's not a follower. It follows those who do what they do very well. And real money, consistent money follows those who love what they do. This is a fact. You will use that money to make smart investments so you can work smarter and continue to do what you love to do. I work endlessly 16, 17-hour days without conflict, without begging myself to stay consistent. I show up the same time every day in, day out. Why? Because this is not work. This is life for me. I don't want to do anything else. I love what I do. I've built something from the ground up and created my own way. This is just a message I wish I was told when I was 18 years old. I don't love it. If you don't love it, you will forever be in conflict. You will never make real moves. It doesn't move you. It doesn't give you energy needed to wake up early in the morning, ready for work. You will always make excuses. People are not consistent because they don't want to be. And it's that simple. If you love it, you will make moves until you win. You will do the things that are not fun in the short term because you love it. You will make adjustments when you lose because you love it. You will take risk, embrace adversity, overcome fear because you love it. You will win because you love it. Don't take my word for it. Just study yourself and you will see the truth in this. And that's it. That was kind of long, right? So what does this mean? See, you have to understand something when you're trying to build something from the ground up. And you try to build something, especially, you're an entrepreneur, you're someone who's working for yourself, you're someone who's matter of fact, you're someone building something, right? Where you have to do great work, you have to be creative, you have to be smart, right? Meaning you have to know the tactics, you have to know the psychology, you have to know what you're doing in order to make money, in order to win, right? You have to be good enough. And also, we're talking about somebody who's in a field with hundreds of thousands of people that are doing the same thing. So think about what it is that you do, and now think about how many people are doing that, right? Unless you're in some new field, and now that's a different type of work. Now you have to educate the market. You have to have the market. You have to educate the market, and also you have to influence the market to go towards your direction, right? When a new product comes out, it's like, hey, look, this is why um, this makes sense, right? So you have to educate the market. It's a different work, but most of the time, people who do things that they love, or they start a business, or they're investing. You have to understand there's thousands of people doing the same thing. So it's going to take serious work to either stand out, to make money, to make serious moves. It's going to take a lot of work and a lot of time. Now, if you do not love the process, if you do not love what you do, what you're doing, if you don't love what you're doing, you don't love what you do, you're not going to put in the work that it takes in order to succeed in that venture. You're just not. The creativity, the work ethic, you're not going to be making the moves. Now, there was a time where I all I was doing was chasing money, and I was making good money doing it, right? Six figures plus. And I was only chasing money. I was only doing things, going into fields because it was a money making opportunity. The thing is, I did not like the work. And I remember doing a podcast. I forgot what podcast I was on. This was back in 2015. I did a podcast and somebody was like, "Hey man, you used to be in this field, right?" It was a particular field I was involved in. And I was like, "Yeah." And he was like, "What happened? Why did you stop?" And I remember I was like, it was just, I didn't know what it was at the time, but I explained it like it's a constant grind. And I was like, it's just a hustle. Like every day you have to wake up and it's just a constant grind trying to just to make a living, right? That is a poor choice of words to say constant grind, because what I do now is a grind, is a hustle, but I love it. It's different. At that time, it's more of, the way to explain it was, I did not love the process. I did not like what I was doing. I did not like waking up every single day to get to work in something that it wasn't fueling me. It wasn't giving me energy. I wasn't passionate about it. So I realized years later that I'm able to be consistent. I'm able to show up every day. I'm able to, you know, uh, show up with so much energy because I love this shit. I love it more than anything else. I don't want to do anything else. I much rather work all day every day if I had a choice, right? If this was my, if I had no other responsibilities, right? No family, no nothing. Like I would just work all day every day. Now, it's because I don't know, just this the study of human nature, the study of psychology, the study of philosophy, studying human beings and why they do what they do. For me, this is my life's work. This is what I'm here to do and here to educate. And I really feel it, because there is no way in how I would be able to stay consistent, or there's no way I'll be able to put out content on the regular, or even show up with energy if I didn't love what it is that I was doing. So if you're finding it hard to stay consistent, there will always be conflict, because, well, scratch that. If you find it hard to be consistent, you just got to look at what it is that you're doing, right? And do you actually love it? Now, there will always be conflict if you don't love it, because now you have to force yourself. You have to force yourself to work. You have to force yourself to get out of bed. You have to force yourself to make moves. Everything is a constant, it's you have to constantly remind yourself. You have to do all these extra stuff, vision boards, and you have to look at your goals, and you have to like kind of refresh your memory on why you're doing what you're doing, instead of imagine being in a field where you love, and you turn that into something big. You turn that into something where you can impact so many people. You turn that into something where you can make so much damn money out of it, because you literally combine so many different skills, right? If you're into many different things, you can combine so many different skills and kind of formulate your own field. So, like, let me give you an example. Like for me, I'm into filmmaking, right? I love making films. And I'm into philosophy, right? I love philosophy, psychology, human nature. I love uh, I love business. I love marketing, right? Because marketing has to do a lot with understanding human nature, right? You understand human nature. You're great at marketing, and I love creativity. Now, I took that and I put it all into one thing that I'm doing now, right? If you look at the films that I put out, that's all creativity, filmmaking, find a way to tell a story while speaking my message at the same time. I took a lot of different things that I'm into and I put it into my own thing. I created my own thing. Now, how can you do that for yourself? And in this post, I say you would make smart investments so you can work smarter and continue to do what you love to do. So this doesn't mean, oh, you don't get into, you don't do things you don't like doing. No, you do the things you don't like to do, right? Like the little boring, little small task, or even studying investments, right? What's the best investment? Is it real estate? Is it stocks? Is it whatever it is? You study those things because it's going to free up your time in order for you to continue to do what you love to do. Now it's no longer about the money. Now it's the passion of the thing that you're doing. In this post, I say, I wish I was told this when I was 18 years old because I was wondering what was wrong with me, the reason why I can't show up. Now, people would say, oh, you're broke. Look at your bank account. That's why you need to show up every day to make moves. It's like, yes, you're right. That should motivate you. The thing is, it's temporary because some people are just like, man, I get that I'm broke, but doing this work, it just not doesn't fuel me. This is why you have to have a goal. You have to have an end goal. You have to have something that you're working towards, because then you will work that job. You will work that job, or you work day in day out in something you don't like because you're thinking about, you know, I'm going to use this money to flip it, or I'm gonna get to this point, right? I'm gonna use this to pay my bills, but then I'm gonna, you gotta have goals and you gotta move forward. If not, you're gonna lose heavy, and that's just facts, right? Um, it will be you'll be in conflict for the rest of your life if you don't love what you're doing. Um, and that's all I have for you today. This is something to really think about, and I feel like I wanted to share this here because this has a lot to do. I talk about discipline, talk about responsibility, I talk about honoring your word. If you write it down, you say you have a goal, but nobody ever talks about how people choose to just not show up because they don't want to show up. That's it. There's nothing else to it. I don't want to show up and that's it because I do not like this process. I don't like what it is that I'm doing. That means there is nothing fueling you. You don't love what you do and there's no goal something that you really care about that's going to push you and motivate you to do the work and to make the moves. People are choosing to lose. People are choosing not to show up. It's their choice. Do you want to do this? No, I don't feel like showing up every day. I just don't want to. I don't feel like putting in the extra grind, the extra hours. That means they value any free time. That means they would value any rest time. They'll take advantage of the sleep. They'll take advantage when they're not working. They'll take longer to get ready. They take longer to make moves because they don't value the actual process. They don't like the work that's involved. Gotta love what you do, fam. Once you do that, there'll be no more conflict. Now you just show up every single day. You continue to make moves over and over and over and over again. You'll stay consistent because this is life. With that being said, family, thank you so much for tuning in. YouTube, show some love. Leave some comments. Like, subscribe. Show me some love on there. And if you're listening to this on your favorite podcast platform, thank you so much. If you can, leave a review if you haven't done so yet. Share this with somebody you know. And I appreciate you guys for listening in. See you next time. Peace.